I would try to take as many classes. Well, first off, I'd ask them, do you plan to practice law? Because not everybody does that has a law degree. If you're going to law school just for the intellectual exercise, or you plan to go into banking and on the legal side, fine, that's a good life. But if you're going to be a practicing lawyer, take as many classes that prepare you to serve your client and solve their problems. Classes like tax, contracts, trusts and wills, those kinds of things. If you're going to do criminal work, obviously the criminal classes. I think a mistake too many first-year law students make is they go for the glamour, the constitutional issues, First Amendment. Well, if you're going to be a lawyer in South Dakota, especially in a rural area, you are going to see little or none of that type of legal work. You better know real estate law instead, and because that's where most of the need is, and that's where your business is probably going to be.
I would give them the advice that they should read that law, that oath as an attorney that they're going to take once they've passed the bar. They should read it frequently in the first year, and then at least once a year after that, because that basically covers everything you need to know. When you've got that license to practice law, you have the power to do an awesome amount of good and an incredible amount of harm. It's up to you. You know, you can be ethical, you can do the right thing, or you can, you know, basically be a crook. And so you need to decide what it is that you're going to do, and hopefully it's to do the right thing.
You want to be a patent lawyer, be an engineer. If you want to be anything else, a lot of people take political science. If you want to be into tax, doesn't hurt to get a business degree, especially federal and state taxes. They're just, because nowadays, I think there's more specializing. You aren't, it's like a doctor when I was little could come to your house with a black bag, check your earache. Lawyers used to do everything. Now there are people that are we have appellate lawyers, that's all they do. I worked with an appellate lawyer once out of Minneapolis. There's people that all they do is try cases, defend cases. There's people that work with intellectual law. So it depends upon what is your focus and what can you do to make yourself up to speed in that area that you want to have expertise in.
Well, one of the first things I think I certainly felt this way, and I think there's others have felt that way too. You start out and you have no idea what you're doing. You have all these assignments, you have all these cases you're reading, and I was around lawyers, and so I should have had a little better understanding of it, and I was older. And had other experiences, but you start out and you read this stuff and you're working on it, and you go to class every day and you listen and you take notes and you discuss it, and you really don't have a good idea on whether this is what's important. And I think that was the frustrating thing for me when I went back to law school, was I'm working my tail off here, and I don't know if I'm studying the right stuff. And I don't know that I had ever had that feeling before in any other study I had. You know, in undergraduate or even my master's, you always kind of knew what you needed to study and what you needed to learn. It's a totally different way of learning, and I'm assuming they still teach it the same way. And my advice when you're starting out is, just keep plugging forward. It'll make sense. You're going to feel like you don't have a clue on what's going on, but at some point, those who think they have a clue may not. So don't let them intimidate you. Just keep working on it, and keep reading the cases and work out and keep working. I understand now, though, they at least give you some practice tests. When I started, I don't think we had a test until the end of the semester, which was very, very frightening.
Keep your sense of humor, really, and study. Read the cases and be prepared, because grades do make a difference, and what you learn does make a difference. So, and a first-year law student should always remember that there's always the next year where it's going to be a little easier. I think that any person who's been through law school will tell you that the first year borders on hell. And so, again, enjoy yourself, but work hard.
Well, the fact that they're there means that they read and wrote and are capable of that at a high level to hone those same skills, to read judicial decisions, and court decisions, and being able to concentrate, to reach the heart of the matter, to be able to write concisively. We see that especially when they go out into the practice. Getting through law school is one thing, but the skills they learn there in law school in terms of reading analytically, reading critically, writing critically, writing analytically, very clear writing. Those are the important things that they should prepare for them, be schooled for, and prepare to, if they haven't already learned it or developed it, be sure to develop it as quickly as they can as they go through law school. Because if they don't, they will not succeed at the higher levels of the practice. That's all there is to it.